A city of ASU students were asked if they had been to a Sun Devil basketball game. There's a basketball here. Or a Sun Devil football game this year. The Venn diagram below summarizes the results. Now we are told to explain what each number represents. Let's look at 52. Now what does 52 simply tell us? If you notice this diagram, there's a basketball here and there's a football here. This one here shares boundary between the basketball and the football, and this one is neither inside basketball or football. So starting from 52, we can tell that 52 is the number of people that attended basketball only game. So I write here basketball only. Then on to the next number, which is this one. If you notice, 12 shares boundary with basketball and football. So that tells us that 12 is for people who attended both basketball and football games. Then on to the next number, 63. This 63 simply tells us that this is the number of the attended football game only. So this is for the football people only. And then if you notice this number, it is outside of football and basketball. So what this number simply stands for is that 8 is the number of people that attended neither basketball or football. So understanding how each of these numbers work will help us when we are solving more complicated problems in Venn diagrams. Now, since you have that down, let's simply move on to the next example where we can solve a more difficult problem under Venn diagram. For this one, we are told that in a class of 40 students, a student can study French or history or both. If 20 study French and 23 study history and 6 study neither, how many students study both subjects? The first thing I want you to do if you see this kind of question is write solution. The second thing I want you to do is to find out how many sets are at play in the question. Now, if you notice, the question says in a class of 40 students, a student can study French or history or both. If 20 study French and 23 study history and 6 study neither, how many students study both subjects? So the key things here is the French and the history. So we have 2 sets at play. Now we have to draw a Venn diagram for this. So I'll make a rough sketch of a Venn diagram here, and then I'll make a circle side for history and a circle side for French. So let's say this circle belongs to those who study history, this circle belongs to those who study French. Now, one of the first things you want to do when doing Venn diagram is that you always start from the middle. How do you start from the middle? You find the number of people that study both history and French. Now, in the question, we're not told the number of people that study both history and French. In fact, we are told to find the number of people that study both history and French. So let's call that number X. Now, we are then told that 20 students study French. Since 20 students study French, this side represents the number of people that study French only. The number of people that study French only will be 20 minus X. And then the number of people that will study history only will be 23 minus X. And then we are told that 6 study neither. That means we write 6 out here. We are then told that the class of students is 40 students. So we write our universal set. Universal set just simply means the total number of everything is equal to 40. From here, the simple thing we will do from here is to add up every individual part of the Venn diagram. So this is an individual part. 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 And then we equate it to this total number. So to do that, I'll simply say 23 minus X. And I'll pick this next one here plus X. Then pick this next one here plus 20 minus X. Then pick this number here plus 6. You find out that if you add up all these numbers individually, they should be equal to the total numbers of people participating in an event, which is in this case 40. What I'll simply do for is simplify these terms here. So let's collect like terms here. I collect like terms here. I have 23 plus 20 and then plus 6 here. And I have minus X plus X minus X is equal to 40. So that from here I have 23 plus 20 plus 6. That is simply equal to 49. minus x plus x cancel out each other. We have minus x here, and this is equal to 40. So that from here, I can make x the subject of formula. If I move 49 over to the other side, this will mean that I have minus x is equal to 40 minus 49. So that I have x is equal to 40 minus x equals 40 minus 49 is minus 9. And then I divide both sides by minus 1 so that I can get x. This cancels out. This x is equal to minus 9 minus 1 is 9. So that tells us that the number of people that study both subjects is equal to 9. Now let's look into another example. For this example, we are told that in a class of 500 final year students, 350 study chemistry, 200 study physics. If 90 students study neither physics nor chemistry, how many students study both subjects? Second question is saying how many students study only one of the subjects? The third question is saying how many students study at least one subject? So I'll write out solution here. Remember, the first thing we want to do is to write out a Venn diagram for this. Now, in this case, it is clear to us that the number of sets we have at play is simply chemistry and physics. So let's say this should be for chemistry, this should be for physics. Now, always start at the middle. First, start at the middle. We need to know the number of people that study both subjects. Now, from the question, we were not told the number of people that study both subjects. So we simply call that number X. But we're told the number of people that studied chemistry. So the number of people that study chemistry is 350. Now, if the number of people that study chemistry is 350, that means the number of people that study chemistry only. Remember, this portion of the circle is for chemistry only. To write the number of people that study chemistry only, write 350 minus x. We are then told that 200 students study physics. So the number of people that study physics only will be here. So we subtract it from the number of people that study both. That means we have 200 minus x. We're then told that 90 students study neither chemistry nor physics. So I'll come here and write 90. And then for our last piece of information, we are told that 500 students are in final year. So that means our universal set here is 500. Like what we did before, we simply add up all the region and equate it to this. So I'll add here, 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 and the numbers outside, then equate it to this. How does this look? To be 350 minus x plus 200 minus x plus 90 is equal to 500. So that from here I can collect like terms and I can say 350 plus 200 plus 90. I have minus x here plus x, and I have minus x here, and then this is equal to 500. So if I add up everything here, I get 350 plus 200 plus 90 is 640. Here, minus x cancels plus x, so I have minus x here is equal to 500. If I move 640 to the other side, it becomes minus x is equal to 500 minus 640. So that from here, I have minus x is equal to 500 minus 640 is minus 140. So that's, if I divide both sides by minus 1, I get my x as equal to 140. So that tells us that the number of students that study both subjects is 140 people. Now, remember, the first question we are meant to solve is that the number of people that study both subjects. So I would say A here. So therefore, I already solved it here, which is 140. 140 students study both subjects. For the second question, we are asked how many students study only one of the subjects. Now, the number of students that study only one of the subjects is these students here and these students here. So that will simply tell us that we have to sum up this number and this number here to get the number of students that study only one of the subjects. I have to clean up space to do that. So I'll say here only one subject. The number of students that study only one subject is 200 minus x plus 350 minus x. So this will be 200 minus x plus 350 minus x. Remember, the x value that we got when we did our calculation was 140. So that means this is equal to 200 minus 140 plus 350 minus 140. From here, this is equal to 200 minus 140 is simply 60 plus 350 minus 140 is 210. So this is equal to 60 plus 210 is 270. So the number of students that study only one subject is 270 students. Then for a third example, we are told that to find how many students study at least one subject. At least one subject means or can be interpreted as people who study one subject, because there are only two subjects here. This means that plus people who study two subjects. The logic for at least one subject means those who study one subject or more subjects. More means that if you have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you add all of them up. Now, people who study at least one subject is these people here, and these people here, and these people here. So we simply add up everything inside this part, and this part to get our answer. So at least one subject is equal to 350 minus x plus 200 minus x. This cancels out this, and then this is equal to 350 plus 200 minus x. This is then equal to 350 plus 200 is 550. Know that our x is 140. So 550 minus 140 is equal to 410. So that tells us that 410 students offered at least one subject. So that's simply how to follow through with Venn diagram problems.